Now, you may have heard of the phenomenon of carcinization, where different species of arthropods all inevitably evolve into crabs. Now, with Mitsubishi, its cars all inevitably evolve into SUVs. The Lancer into the ASX, the Strada into the Montero Sport, and now the Expander, which has evolved into the X-Force, but that was not SUV enough, so it evolved further into the Destinator. Is this the Expander's final form? And is this the most interesting thing about it? Believe me when I tell you that this turbocharged compact 7-seater might be the most interesting thing that Mitsubishi has done in decades. It would be quite tempting to dismiss the Destinator as nothing more than an Expander or X-Force XL. It does sort of feel similar, but not really. Mitsubishi says that the rear suspension shares components with the Montero Sport, and I actually don't doubt that. It feels like it has a long stroke and very good damping compared to an Expander or an Expander Cross. The front end also feels heavily revised. It feels like there's less kickback through the steering and less harshness in the front suspension than in the smaller cars on the same platform. You still get very immediate turn in, unfortunately quite a bit of body roll. It also has brake dive. It also lifts the nose when you accelerate. It's a very soft car. That said, push past the softness, and it's also a very nimble and a very agile car. Mitsubishi gives this thing multiple drive modes, sort of like their super active yaw control. They have a tarmac mode that tucks the nose in and gets it round corners much faster than in normal mode. Unfortunately, you can't defy the laws of physics. This thing is just wearing Bridgestone Turanza tires. They're just your regular crossover tires, not high performance or anything. So you don't have the grip to actually maximize that performance. That said, within the limits of the tires, it is nimble, it is agile, and it is quite entertaining. For those of you who don't like to drive like hooligans, you will enjoy the cruising potential of the Destinator. With that supple suspension, it eats up hundreds of kilometers with ease. That 1.5-liter turbocharged engine loves just cruising on the highway at low RPMs. And if you want to overtake, this thing with 161 horsepower gets you from 0 to 100 kph in just 8.1 seconds. And that water-cooled turbo means that you will not lose performance even if you've been driving for hours on the highway or sitting in hot traffic for hours also. Unfortunately, the transmission is merely a CVT. It is a pretty good CVT to take all that power, but it doesn't have the same sort of sophisticated cooling as the engine itself. This being a mid-range variant, you don't get all the toys. You don't get ADAS, adaptive cruise control, or lane keeping, but you do get dumb cruise control, which is okay, but you know, if it's dumb cruise control, you might as well just be pressing the pedal yourself. And you do get blind spot warning. So if cars are coming up beside you, it will tell you, and that has actually saved me a couple of times. You also get one of the best 360-degree cameras in the business. You've got a front-facing camera for when you're going forward or for when you're sitting in traffic. And the rear-facing camera with a 360-degree display has one of the best 360-degree displays I've ever seen. Granted, you don't get the pseudo 3D thing, but it's a lot better looking than most. Okay, maybe you want to figure out what the monthly amortization of this car will be. The good news is you can easily find this out via PSBank's auto loan website. The PSBank auto loan with prime rebate offers competitive rates and payment terms. So just plug your preferences into the online loan calculator to get estimates on the spot. Even applying for a loan can be done online at pwedeng isang tulog lang may kotse ka na. Once you fill out and submit the application form, you can expect to receive a loan decision within just 24 hours. Monthly payments can also be made through multiple online channels, letting you settle your dues anytime, anywhere. And if you make excess or advance payments, Prime Rebate will automatically lower your total loan cost. Buying a car has never been quicker, simpler, or more rewarding. Find out the cost of owning your dream car by visiting psbank.com.ph and heading to the auto loan page. But first, before you decide on whether or not to buy this car, watch the rest of our review. Now let's take some time to get familiar with the interior. You notice a lot of shared DNA with the expander here, most noticeably with the steering wheel and some of the finishes, but the hard plastics have been banished to the door tops and dash top, and you've got soft touch material everywhere, on the doors, on the console, and it's contrast stitched, which is really nice. Now this is not the top of the line car, so you don't get leather seats, but I don't really mind all that much. You've got the de facto double screen as you get on modern cars, but this isn't really a double screen. It's like one screen here and one screen sunk in. This screen for your instrument gauges is sunk in so that you get less reflections in challenging lighting conditions, which is nice, but it looks and feels kind of weird to do it that way. I wish they just put a regular cowling over the instrument gauges, but you know, it's a design choice. It's a minor thing. Like many modern cars, you have a full-featured infotainment screen. Unlike most modern cars, this screen does not include AC controls. Instead, you get a full physical panel. Thank you, Mitsubishi. Instead, that infotainment screen gives you info and entertainment. You've got readouts for acceleration, for boost, for GPS, a compass readout, and an inclinometer, which is traditional on a Mitsubishi SUV. You also get Android Auto and Apple CarPlay and a kick-ass sound system with great bass to go along with it. In terms of storage, you've got a lot of storage in here. You've got door pockets, you've got knee pockets under the console, you've got big cup holders, a big console box that will hold a lot of stuff, and it's air conditioned too. And you've got a wireless charging pad for your phone, and we're only talking about the front seat. Let's take a look at the back. Now, this being an SUV, rear seat comfort is as important as the front, and these rear seats are comfortable. You've got good elbow room, you've got good leg room, you've got good headroom, and you have space for 3 people. You also have storage options. You've got pockets for your cell phone, pockets for your bags. You've even got pull-up trays so that you can eat or watch on your tablet while on a long road trip. You've also got this center armrest, which doubles as a pass-through to the back, so you can reach for snacks or extra clothes or whatever when you're on those said road trips. You also have rear air conditioning in here, and unlike most cars, the aircon vents are up top so that your head gets cool instead of your crotch. As you can see, this is not the biggest third row in the world, and I have moved the second row a little bit forward to get some knee room. If I want generous knee room, I have to move it so far forward that the center passenger won't have any knee room there at all, and having a 7-seater and holding 6 people, it kind of defeats the purpose. That said, this is a comfortable seat. The backrests are a bit flat, so it's not great for long trips, but you do get USB and USB-C charging ports, ceiling-mounted air conditioning, and cup holders, so the people in the third row are going to be reasonably comfortable, at least more than in most 7-seaters in this size range. Now, the Destinator has a pretty decent cargo space for a compact 7-seater. You've got just the Goldilocks loading lip. It's not too high, not too low, perfect for Filipino-sized people loading cargo into the back of the car. You've got a flat floor, and you've got side pockets for wet stuff and bottles and things that might spill. Now, if you need more space, and I think most owners will use it this way, you'll put the third row down, which is really easy. This gives you a really big loading space that's big enough for small appliances and maybe a folded up bike. Now, if you need even more space, you can put down the second row, and you've got a nice flat floor going halfway across the vehicle, big enough to sleep in. Now, the Destinator borrows heavily out of Mitsubishi's existing styling playbook. You've got a lot of X-Force and Expander in front, Montero Sport in the fenders front and rear, and some Outlander in the back. Yet somehow it manages to merge all these diverse styling cues into something that is actually attractive. I particularly like this front grille, this front half grille. Unfortunately, it suggests that this car is a hybrid, and it isn't. Still, it is nice looking, it is futuristic, and I love that all this plastic cladding means that none of your sheet metal is exposed in a collision. So that's the Destinator, the most important Mitsubishi to come out in a long time. Now, this is a car that previews technologies that we should see on new Mitsubishis going forward, especially that 1.5-liter turbocharged engine. It's a corker. Let's get into the pros and cons of this particular unit. Pros, it's a looker. This is a sci-fi, futuristic, very butch, very macho little SUV. On the con side, the fit and finish is a little lopsided. Some of the panel gaps are not good, and we wish the trim were fitted on a bit tighter. On the pro side, that 1.5-liter turbocharged engine plus CVT, it's a beaut. It's responsive, it's powerful, it's a great power plant. On the con side, fuel economy is obviously not as good as on the Expander or Expander Cross because it is, again, a turbocharged engine. Another pro, the interior. This has a bigger interior than the Expander or Expander Cross or the BRV or the Veloz. This is big, as in it has no competitors from the Japanese in this price and size range. On the con side, at 1.5 million, this mid-range model doesn't have all the bells and whistles or all the toys. You don't have leather, you don't have full ADAS, but you know, for anyone who wants extra space or anyone who feels that space is the ultimate luxury, there is nothing quite like the Destinator in this size or price range. And for that, we've got to give it an 8 out of 10.